to Mysteries and Mimosas. My name is Max Sterling, and I'm here with my co-host in the old battle axe, Aria Sterling.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Aria.
I'm not really a battle axe, though.
I know you're not. You're not really a battle axe. You're more of like a fierce little hatchet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. All like.
I'm spicy.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
You're spicy.
I
Not
can
really
be
a battle
spicy.
axe. More so of like a dagger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like unpredictable. Anyway.
So, as a reminder, we produce 2 episodes every week. On Mondays, we release a short episode with limited public information in an effort to raise awareness to those cases.
Yeah, and boy, do we have a case that has no information today. But before we get started, I want to remind everyone that today is the day. Today's the day that you need to tune in to Michael and Jeremy Steal Your Podcast, because we had a lot of fun talking with Michael and Jeremy when they stole our podcast. That was only a few weeks ago that we did that collaboration with them, but it's now going to be released today on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you stream your favorite show.
Has it really been? It has been like 3 weeks. It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
Yeah, Michael and Jeremy just linger in your brain, I guess.
Yeah, time
kind of
flies,
feels like
though.
yesterday.
It does. It doesn't. It definitely feels like it was like last week.
Oh, no.
So,
I mean, yeah, it does feel like last week, but I mean, we've done Khadijah Britton's
I
case.
know.
We talked to Trent James about that case. And I don't know if anybody was paying attention, but we skipped last week's Mystery Monday. We just had too much going on.
Yeah, it was impossible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We got to the point where we couldn't record, and I just said, you know what? Heck with it. Let's go to bed. And that's what we did.
I had a school assignment that took me literally all day. It took my entire day to do that. It's a statistics thing that I had to do. But I got 100% on it.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, but it took me all day.
Nerd.
No, I hate that class. I do. I'm not a statistician. Statistician? Is that even how you say it?
Yeah, that's how you say it.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So it feels like it hasn't been 3 weeks, but have you had a preview of it at all, or are we going to be
No, I don't know anything about it.
just as soon as everyone else is?
Just getting exposed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it though, man. I mean, if you haven't heard Michael and Jeremy, they're really funny. I think they're funny. I really enjoyed doing it. It was fun to collaborate with a different podcast, and I feel really honored that they took our podcast.
Yeah, me too.
They've both said very kind words to us. Probably a little bit too generous because they think our show is good, and well, I think it's okay.
So, as always, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and now you can join our discussion with us on Discord. Just search for Mimosa Max and let us know what you think.
Yeah, you can join into the discussion. It's like a chat room, like the old
an AOL chat room.
Exactly, that's exactly
Remember?
What it is.
ASL.
Oh yeah,
I think
said
I've
that
said
last
this
time.
on a different podcast, but remember that was the thing back in the day.
Are you on another podcast? You said you did this on a different podcast. Are you cheating on me with another host?
No, a different episode of our
gotcha,
podcast. So that's what I meant to say. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It probably was different for you because I was like in middle school and you were in college when that was a big thing.
Yeah, but the funny thing about that though is when you were in middle school, you were probably more mature than I was in college.
Guarantee it. I guarantee that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not ashamed. I'm pretty immature when you loosen me up with a couple cocktails or a couple mimosas.
No, that's not even necessary. You are immature and inappropriate on a daily basis at all hours.
That's not true. I'm very professional.
Okay. Anyway.
Well, all right. So today we are going to be talking about 2 cases. The first case is from Oceana, West Virginia. And am I saying that right?
I think it's Oceana.
You think it's Oceana?
No.
Oceana?
I think it's Oceana, like the ocean.
I always thought that was a weird word, ocean, because we say it with the SH sound instead of the C.
There are so many words.
So I just always feel weird saying it.
I can't imagine trying to learn the English language if it's not your first language because we have so many weird things like that.
Yeah.
And words that are spelled the same but mean different things. Like, it's just confusing.
Yeah.
It's confusing and it's our first language. So.
For sure.
But I think it's Oceana.
Oceana. Okay,
Yeah, that's
Oceana,
how I
West
say it.
Virginia. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks for keeping me on track.
Yeah.
Okay, so 34-year-old Sherry Myers was last seen on August 9th, 2011, talking to someone in a pickup truck in the parking lot of the Oceana apartments. Apparently, Sherry got into this truck and left with this person. 2 days later, Sherry spoke with someone on the phone, but she was never seen or heard from again. So, like I told you, there's not a lot of information on this one. So, I really want to encourage our listeners to please look at our social media posts to see her picture. Hopefully, Sherry's case will gain some attention so that police can solve it once and for all.
Wait,
But
so we don't have any information on who she spoke with on the phone or what was said?
no,
Interesting.
I've looked, I've researched it. This information, it's referenced on our website, but this came from the Charlie Project. There's not a lot of news articles out there on this. But why don't you tell us about the second case, and maybe we'll have a little more information.
Okay. So, only 4 miles away from Oceana, West Virginia, is a small town by the name of Linco. I think you say it Linco.
You say however you want. It's your podcast.
It's Lynco. And only
I would call it Linco.
Linco.
You say Leanco
Yeah.
like a weirdo. I say Linco like a normal person. But go ahead.
All right.
In Leanco.
Okay. And only 2 weeks before Sherry's disappearance, 38-year-old Brian David Cook also went missing. Brian was last seen when he was dropped off at the Linco post office by someone who drove Brian to Boone County earlier that day. It's been reported Brian was carrying $16,000 in inheritance money at the time of his disappearance. Brian has never been seen or heard from again. What? He's carrying $16,000 around.
Exactly.
Who carries that
Yeah.
much cash around?
Well, Brian did, and it was because he had that inheritance.
Okay,
but
but
I
put
mean,
it in the bank, though.
I saw when we were looking this case up, I saw one article, and I only saw it in one place that maybe he was looking to buy a vehicle. So that would explain why you'd have some cash, but maybe he's moving it from one bank account to another, or doing, who knows what he's
That's
doing
a lot
with
of cash, though, to carry around. I mean, I always have a little bit of cash on the side. I mean, $20, $40 maybe, not 16,000.
Yeah, I don't carry cash.
I actually rarely do too, but
Yeah, I don't. I probably should, but I never carry cash.
yeah.
I never spend money, period. But anyway,
Okay.
go ahead. What?
Anyway, I mean, when you spend money, it's on like big ticket items like TVs
Like
or
very
sound
rarely.
systems or something
And we all benefit
electronic.
from that.
Electronic, like phones. You used to be obsessed with having the newest, latest phone.
I don't even
You're
care.
not that way anymore.
I don't even care. The only thing that I want is happiness and a successful podcast. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you've put those old
pretty
ways
easy.
aside. It's the new Max.
Yeah,
You've come a long way in your
I have.
maturity. Anyway, so Brian is a United States Marine Corps veteran, and his family has set up a Facebook page dedicated to finding Brian. Pinned to the top of the page, it reads, July 2011, he went missing. He was a son, a brother, a cousin, a husband, and most importantly, a daddy. We pray, we hope, we love, and we miss him.
And that really gets me in the feelers,
It does.
especially
it's
being a
sad.
dad.
I know.
And really, this just kind of, I don't know. I think this is important to read on this because it really gives us an insight into what the family's feeling. Like, there's a lot of emotion that goes into this,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I don't know. It just really makes me sad to think about Brian missing. And
It's really sad. I think that's something that we always need to remember, no matter what the circumstances are surrounding somebody's, disappearance or murder or whatever it is. Those circumstances aside, like, they have a family out there. They have someone who loves them. Whenever I see someone struggling, whether it's like a homeless person and it's cold outside, what always comes first to my mind is, that's somebody's loved one. At one point, that was somebody's baby. And, like, me as a mom, like, I mean, I can't ever imagine my own baby being out there with nobody caring about her or, her struggling or like, having no support or nobody. And it's really sad when you see those situations. Like that person is somebody's mom, somebody's child. It's somebody's loved one,
Well,
and
yeah, I mean, in
it's
this case, it's
sad.
somebody's son, somebody's brother,
Yeah.
somebody's cousin,
Hmm.
husband, and dad.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I teach in our local police academy. I teach a couple different classes, and I say at every single academy class, for those coming into law enforcement, it's really important to understand how to treat people.
Mm.
And I always think of this particular discussion that we're having right now, and I tell them when you find that person that's homeless, down on their luck, committing a crime, gang member who disrespects you, somebody addicted to drugs, or maybe somebody who's having serious mental health issues, that person was somebody's baby at one point in time. And so you need to treat that person just like you would want your child treated
Hmm.
by a police officer in the future if that happens to them. And if you live by those that golden rule, you'll never get any complaints.
Yeah, I appreciate that you do that because I don't think people hear that enough, right? It seems so simple. Just treat other people like you would want to be treated or how you would want your family members to be treated. I know it's not always that easy because we as humans have emotions and we get angry and we get sad, and so it's not always that easy, but I think if we go out into the world every day with that thought in our head, like, you know what? I'm just going to try to treat
Try to
everybody
do
like,
better.
yeah, try to treat everybody like I would want to be treated without knowing fully what everybody is going through on a daily basis,
Well,
because we're all dealing with things.
yeah, and that's why I say it that way because I think it rings home a little bit easier to say treat people like you want your loved one to be treated,
Hmm.
not like yourself. Because I don't know, it's kind of cliche, and it's like I don't really care how people treat me sometimes.
Hmm.
Like it doesn't ring as close to home as when you say, hey, your daughter or your son could be in this position one
Yeah.
day. Yeah, sorry for getting off topic. So these two people are reported missing in the same community within 2 weeks of each other. But that's not all. Two other people were reported missing in this community: Rachel Michelle Toller and Chester Stewart. They were found murdered, and investigators believe these four cases could be related.
Wait, this is a small community, is
It's a
it not?
very small
I've never
community.
like heard of it,
If
but
you look at I don't know what the population is, but if you look at the map on this, it's super tiny.
that's interesting.
It is
Okay.
interesting. So Rachel's her remains, were found in the Stewart Cemetery, and Chester's uh, body was found weighted down with cinder blocks in the deep end of a swimming pool in the backyard of an abandoned house just down the road from the cemetery.
Okay.
And Rachel and Chester were reported missing right around the same time as Sherry and Brian.
Okay. Did they know each other?
Well, it's been reported that Brian, Sherry, Rachel, and Chester knew each other, and it's believed that these murders and disappearances may have some sort of drug connection. So
Okay.
I think there's a total of five people missing right around this time. These four people knew each other, or at least that's what the news reports say, that they knew each other. And for whatever reason, the investigators in that particular agency believe that these the disappearances and the murders are connected.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would think they're definitely connected, especially in such a small community. They all go missing at the same time, and they all potentially know each other. That I would find it really hard to believe that they're not connected in some way.
Yeah, and I really want to get into a deeper conversation on this and do some more digging and hopefully get maybe some family members or even a detective um, on as a guest on this. That's my goal. I'd like to revisit this one. But for now, there's just so little information on Brian and so little information on Sherry that I think it's worth doing on this Mystery Monday, even though there's obviously more to the picture here than what we know.
Yeah, and that's quite a hit for a small community's police force to have two murders, because you have two bodies, and then two disappearances, all within the same amount of time, all connected. I wonder if they've reached out to like any larger like state agencies for help on that, because that's a big deal for one person to be murdered in a small community like that. But when you have all of this happening, that can kind of overload a small agency. So hopefully they
Oh
have
yeah.
help from someone.
Well, and I'm not trying to disparage, smaller agencies,
Oh
but that
no.
could be, lack of resources, lack of training, all those things could lead to the reason why these are unsolved,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what leads there are. Like I said, I mean, it's super hard to find any information on any of these four cases. The Charlie Project has a lot of information on it, but even that is very limited. And the Charlie Project reported that Rachel's remains, her body was dismembered and found in the trees in the cemetery, which I think is just super
What? Like
bizarre.
up in the trees?
Up in the trees.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
in fact, she was found by somebody who was putting up or, one of the reports say, I don't know if this is true, but one of the reports say that a man that was there to put up a deer blind to hunt deer by the
In
cemetery
a
saw it.
cemetery, he's setting up a deer
Either in
blind?
it or near it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh no, this is just a strange situation now.
It,
Like
I
I
mean,
didn't
it
mean to.
sounds weird.
Okay. He's setting up a deer blind. Hopefully, it's outside of the cemetery because that's really weird.
Is it?
To set up a deer blind in a cemetery to hunt? Yes.
I'm not a hunter, but I mean,
A
if the
cemetery.
deer go there,
No, a cemetery is a place of peace and quiet. You don't set up a deer blind in
yeah,
a
that's a good point.
cemetery.
I digress. I guess.
But I mean, then he found I don't know, found body parts in the trees. That's somebody is sick.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's any truth behind that. The Charlie Project is pretty spot on with their information.
Yeah.
But I also saw I was looking through some web sleuth stuff. Web sleuth stuff. That's hard to say.
Yeah.
And there was an article posted where the sheriff said that Chester's body was actually floating in that swimming pool and not weighted down with cinder blocks, but I don't know. So, as we do these episodes, there's always conflicting information. Either way, one body is found, dismembered or not, in the trees or on the ground, it doesn't matter, in a cemetery. And just down the road, there's a swimming pool where Chester's found.
Yeah.
So Rachel in the cemetery, Chester down the street, in a pool. And then Brian and Sherry are missing all in the same amount of time.
Remind me again, when was this? What year was this?
2011.
Oh, so it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
And Brian and Sherry have never been found.
No, never been found, never been, heard from or seen ever again. So let me just ask, do you have it pulled up? Do you have contact information and physical descriptions of these unfortunate disappearances?
I do.
Okay.
So Sherry Myers is between 5 feet 5 inches and 5 feet 7 inches tall. She weighs 141 pounds and has brown hair with blue eyes. Brian is described as a white male between 5'8" and 5'10", weighing 183 pounds. Brian has brown hair and hazel eyes. If you have any information about the disappearances of Brian or Sherry, please contact the Oceana Police Department at 304-682-8311.
Very cool. Thank you man, you're actually on point with that.
Yeah.
I really didn't think that you'd have it.
No, I always do
I always
now.
try to catch you.
I know, and so that's why I always am prepared now.
Yeah. Are you preparing for trivia for Wednesday? Because
boy.
I haven't put it together yet, the trivia for Wednesday, but I don't even know what I'm going to do.
I mean, I don't really get my hopes up anymore with the trivia that I'm going to win.
Oh, yeah.
I just
no,
show up
just
and
so you know,
do my
like,
best.
Trent James has been just texting me like every day, like just super proud of himself for beating you at trivia.
No,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think he beat me.
No, he did.
I think we tied.
Mm. No, he beat you.
He did?
And,
What was
yeah.
the score?
Do you want a
then?
rematch? I bet he'd come on for a rematch. The score? I think it was like 4-0.
No, oh well, that's definitely not right. I did get some right.
I'm kidding. He didn't text me anything about trivia, but I bet if you wanted, since you did tie, it was a tie, I bet if you wanted, he would do a rematch. All I got to do is ask him.
A tiebreaker. We'll see.
Or if you, our listener, wants to challenge Aria at trivia because you think you're better than her, then why don't you hit us up on Discord? You just follow me on, I think I don't really know how to find it. I have it linked on Facebook, but I know my name on there is Mimosa Max, which I think is the best username of all
It's
time.
like a
I don't think
handle.
anybody has,
It's like a CB radio handle.
yeah, nobody has a better CB radio handle than Mimosa Max. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
I dare you to get a better Discord username and come into my server.
Whoa.
It's not going to happen.
That was a challenge. Or a threat. I don't know. I felt
It's a challenge.
threatened by
No, it's a
that.
challenge. Well, you're fragile.
Oh.
Yeah. You're just upset because you can't win at trivia. I'm so sad for you.
Yeah, that's true. I do have a hard time with trivia, which is weird. I'm actually a pretty intelligent person, but you know what I think it is I get nervous.
You get nervous?
I have a lot of people listening. A few people listening.
Like 3.
Okay. Well, a few people listening.
We have
And
3
I get
listeners.
nervous.
I'm just kidding. We have more than 3. More than 3, less than 1 million.
Yes.
That's a pretty big
there's
range.
a range, yeah.
Okay. So if you don't mind, do me a favor. Jump on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and visit us on our website, mysteriesandmimosas.net. We look forward to hearing from you. Aria looks forward to beating you in trivia because she thinks she's that good. And if you... What?
I mean, I just announced to the world or everyone that's listening.
You know what I'm going to do?
That I'm
gonna
not
have
that
your
good.
I'm going to have your mom on.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. We're going to do a trivia face-off with your mom. We'll
Okay.
we'll cold call her. Do you want to cold call her next
my
time we do this?
gosh. Okay.
All right, it's done.
Well,
Son.
she's gonna know. She's gonna be like expecting it now because she
Ah,
listens.
shoot.
You just ruined the whole thing. Don't say that. We gotta cut that.
Well,
part
you
out.
know what?
Just say we'll
now
challenge her.
now we'll know whether she actually listens or if she just says she does.
Ooh, true.
Yeah, because if we cold call her after this episode airs and she doesn't see it coming, we'll know she's a fake news, fake listener. Calling her out.
No, I don't. No, I don't think she's a fake listener because she'll like comment about something that was said on the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, like where you discount a story I tell or don't believe it. She'll be like, "Oh, next time I see Max, I'm going to tell him. I'll back you up on that. That is a true story."
Okay. Well, we'll see. All right. Well, if you feel lucky, like I said, hit me up on Discord. And what else do we got? You got anything else?
I don't.
All right. I'm going to roll Michael and Jeremy Steal Your Podcast trailer at the end of this episode. But in the meantime,
Cheers.
cheers.
Dodge. Why are you always making me climb in the smallest of places?
Well, Jerry, this is the best way to get to the podcast that we need to steal this week.
It's always through
Like
the
we do
fence.
every week on Mondays.
Mondays, every Monday.
Religiously.
Sometimes I wish we could just walk through the door, but yeah. Every Monday on where do they find it?
On Spotify, Apple, anywhere that you can find podcasts. That's
Sorry,
where
dude,
we are.
I get so hot in these vents. I think they have the heater on.
Oh, Jeremy, don't move. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Michael and Jeremy Steal Your Podcast every Monday, wherever you get your podcasts and stuff.
We're gonna take your podcast and we're gonna do it
Better,
faster,
stronger,
hornier,
yes,
in an hour.
or more. Sometimes.